Hari Om. Good morning to everybody in the US. Good evening to everybody in India. Welcome to our Pravachana Malika talk number 31. Today we are going to talk about Gruha Pravesham ceremony, housewarming procedures and science in employed mantras. And we are very happy to invite our featured speaker, Sri Ramachandra Sharma Garu, who is an IT professional and a Ghana party. And so we have Veda Kusumanjali today with Sangitanjali, and we'll have concluding remarks by Dr. Bodupalli Raghava Garu and vote of thanks by Sri Kirti Vasavan Garu. So we'll get started with our Veda Kusumanjali, and Papaya Garu will lead.
Oh, okay, Nandi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I hope. Okay. So namaskaram andi. Om Badram Karnebi Srunu Yama Deva Badram Pashe Makshabirya Jatra Srirai Rangai Sustuvagam Sastanobihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vruddhasavaha Swastina Pusha Vishvaveda Swastina Taksho Arishtanemihi Swastino Bruhaspatitadatu Om Shanti 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 Om Agne Naya Supadaraye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidvan Yuyugyasmatu Juhurana Meno Bhuishtante Nama Uktim Videma Om Shanti 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 Om Brahman Brahmano Brahmavarsi Jayatam Arashtre Rajanyah Shura Isha Vyo Ativyari Maharado Jayatam Drodhridhenudvodhanadvan Ashuhu Saptihi Purandiryosha Jignarajeshcha Sabeyo Yuva Asya Yajamanasya Viro Jayatam Nikame Nikame Naha Parjanyo na Varshatu Palavatyo na Oshadayaha Ashyantam Yogakshemanaha Kalpetam Om Shanti 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 Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Prana Chakshuhu Shotramado Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahmsmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarotu Anirakaranamastu Arinakaraname Astu Taradmini Nirateya Upanishatu Dharma Te Mai Santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, Papaya. Thank you very much. So now we'll have the Sangeetanjali. Balaji Garu, please.
Namaskaram. My name is Balaji. Thank you for this opportunity to present my prayer. This composition that I'm going to render is one of my father's composition. My father's name is late Sri M.D. Ramanathan, who was a Carnatic musician. And this is on Lord Goddess Meenakshi. It is in Mani Pravalam. It has both Sanskrit and Tamil. So I will humbly offer this prayer. You all can hear me? Audio is fine?
Yes, please go ahead.
Perfectly fine.
Mangala charane mama vasatatam Mangala charane mama vasatatam Mamaduraivar Meenaksham Mamaduraivar Meenaksham Mangalacharane Mama Vasatatum மாமதுரை வாழ் மீனாட்சம்மா மங்களச்சரணே மாமவ சததம். சங்கரஹிதே உந்தைவால் சந்ததம் போற்றினேன். சங்கரஹிதே உந்தைவால் சந்ததம் போற்றினேன். சங்கரஹிதே உந்தைவால் சந்ததம் போற்றினேன். சாமகான வினோதினி மானினி சமகான வினோதினி மானினி மங்களச்சரணே மாமவ சததம். மாமதுரை வாழ் மீனாட்சம் மங்களச்சரணே. உந்தன் சந்நிதி வந்தேன் உள்ளம் புருகி தொழ. உந்தன் சந்நிதி வந்தேன் உள்ளம் புருகி தொழ. வன்திரையை கண்டேன் வானமிடித்தால் போலே. வன்திரையை கண்டேன் வானமிடித்தால் போலே. மின்னல் வேகமதில் மகிழ்ந்திடச் செய்தாயே. மின்னல் வேகமதில் மகிழ்ந்திடச் செய்தாயே. மின்னல் வேகமதில் மகிழ்ந்திடச் செய்தாயே. மகிமை சொல்ல தரம வரததாசன் போற்றும். மகிமை சொல்ல தரம வரததாசன் போற்றும். மங்களச்சரணே மாமவ சததம். மாமதுரை வாழ் மீனாட்சம் மாமதுரை வாழ் மீனாட்சம் மங்களச்சரணே மாமவ சததம். சததம் சததம்.
Thank you very much. Very, very excellent rendering.
That was really amazing.
Namaskar. Thank
It was
you.
just beautiful, and it was so
Lovely.
wonderful, and the ragam is fantastic, and you have just on it.
Yeah, and your father's composition is just so special. It is very, very auspicious. Thank you so much. It is
Thank you.
an
Namaskar.
honor to have that rendering.
Thank you.
So Nana, can you please introduce this topic and the speaker? Ramachandra is here. You're muted, Nana.
He is on mute.
Nana, you're muted.
Welcome to all of you. And today we have got Ramachandra, a Pandit, a Purohit, also born in a Vedic family. And he is a professional, IT professional in a reputed MNC company. And he has learned Apastamba Gruksha Sutram of Krishna Yajurveda, Smartam, from his father Satyanarayana Murthy, and who is also a Purohit and Suryopasaka. They're all from Visakhapatnam, and he is trying to understand the subtle aspects of the Vedic rituals and scientific reasons behind each ritual. So lifetime objective is to bridge the gap between conventional and contemporary without deviating from Shastras, but to make the young generation in artificial intelligence era to be able to understand the great benefits of ancient practices. So this is a wonderful bridging between the traditional, recitational, scholarship-filled of the mantras and procedures of the various Gruhya rites, and also trying to see some reason how these rishis have got real background, reason why they picked up this mantra from our Veda Samhitas. In fact, it is a really good endeavor to find out appropriateness from the application point of view, whatever it is. Actually, we have Veda Samhitas, which contain large number of only mantras. 15, also all 4 Vedas have got more than 15,000 mantras. But the choice and employment of them depends upon the rishis. So we have got Brahmana texts, then we have got the Sutra texts and Aranyakas and Upanishads and all that. So number of Vedic texts have come afterwards too. And in the Gruha Sutras, we have got the very important ceremonies connected to the householder, to that say so that he will be successfully spending his time, also helping all his family members and the world like that. So among all such Gruhya rites, Gruha Pravesham is very important. Everybody has to go through that. It's almost a mandatory one, that whenever you buy a house, or you enter into that house, or you take a house for renting, or whatever it is, when you are going to be housed in a house, you should respect the elders, you should respect the gods, and with all the formalities, which our Ramachandra will be able to give us briefly before that. And again, most important is we have to appease and satisfy and please many creatures who depended upon the building material we have brought from various sources. The wood, the stone, the sand, the mud, and etc. All these things, building material, has got to be collectively appeased and make prayers and all that. So, more important is we have got Gruha Pravesham, importantly Rakshogna Homam, and also Vastu Home, and so many homas are there, apart from that other formalities. So, not my talking much, we'll just ask Sri Ramachandra to begin. But before that, I want to also say that I have seen so many unfortunate things in certain houses where people have entered to start living without doing the formal Gruha Pravesham ceremony or some formality respecting gods. And that I will tell you afterwards. But let me just, let us all listen to Sri Ramachandra Sarma. Sir, you come back. Welcome to you.
Namo mahadbhyo gurubhyo namah. Shri gurubhyo namah. Harihi Om. Gananam tva ganapatikum bhavamahe kavim kavena jyeshtarajam brahmanam brahmanaspadana shranvannotibhisse dasadanam Rano Devi Saraswati Vaje Bhirvajani Vitti Dhinama Vitriyavat Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayana Samarambham Vyasa Shankara Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Shri Mahaganadhyapataye Namaha Shri Mahasaraswatye Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hare Om Sabhaya Namaha. Good morning and then good evening to everyone. And my humble request to your lotus feet, Guru Garu, because of when I met you in 2014, so my life's objective has been completely changed. My perspective towards the Vedic rituals have been completely changed. And then it is all your bhiksha and then your blessings that I could start my journey and then continue a little bit progress. And then with your blessing, I hope definitely I'll be able to achieve my lifetime objective for sure. Thank you so much for your blessings and then encouragement always, and the motivation, the energy that you create. And I would like to share my screen, but forgive me for not able to create the PPT completely. So because of the busy schedule, I could not complete, but thing is I would cover and then I'll share the information later on. But just Yeah, today's topic is Gruha Pravesham ceremony, actually housewarmings, and the procedures and the science in employed mantras. Right? Will more emphasis in this one. The agenda for this one I would like to cover is introduction, a bit of context about this particular Gruha Pravesham, and then what is Gruha Pravesham, and then what are the rituals are part of the Gruha Pravesham, and then why it is conducted, and then what is the Vastu, who is Vastu Purusha, and then his Parivar Devatas and all, and the importance of the Devatas in detail. So in terms of like a little bit of scientific context and the conclusion, I would like to start with the introduction. So I haven't prepared much content about this one. So actually, as you all know, right? So we have 84 lakh species of living beings exist in the universe. So out of these 84 lakh species, we have birds and then animals and then sea creatures and then many things and then plants also. And out of these things, one common, mainly like animals and then birds have like one common aspect, and including humans also. That is called, there are four things: food, sleep, sex, and then fear. These are called the Mooladhara Chakra, four lotus, like four petals of the Mooladhara Chakra. These are called as instincts. So every animal and then every bird or every sea creatures or anything, fishes or anything, they'll be acquiring these four skills by birth itself, and then nobody will teach them. Nobody how to do this thing, how to construct a, how to live, how to hunt, how to eat. All these things are by default they'll be learning it. So as the human also, for human also, these are the common instincts. We call it as a basic instincts of human being. In addition to that one, right, the humans will be having intellect. That means ability to think and then take decisions. That is called mind. We call it as manas. So with this manas, humans can create wonders, and then they can make themselves as a asuras. I mean demons also. They can make themselves as a devatas, and then they can attain the mukti. That means like they can emerge. I mean they can dwell with the Paramatma himself. So all this is only one part, manas. So where exactly all these animals and then birds and then everybody living? So everybody will be having some home, right? So if you look at the animals, and then some animals will be living in caves, and some animals will be living in fields, some animals will be living in near the trees or something like that. So as birds, if you look at the birds, right, the creativity of the birds will be wondering us. So how beautiful they'll construct their nests, how beautiful and the lovely they'll be constructing their homes. Why they construct the homes? The reason for this one is to live, and then to mainly to build, to bring up their offspring, to lay the eggs, and then after mating, they'll lay the eggs and then to bring up the offspring. Once the offspring is ready, the birds will be living, and then they start building their own nest again. But similarly, the humans also, when they evolve, right, they started the understanding the need of having a house or having a place to live, and then they started building their homes. But later on, what happened is we have the intellect, and then our rishis have given us all the rules, regulations, and everything. They have given us all the living standards, and then what needs to be done, how needs to be done, why needs to be done, when it needs to be done. All these things were given by our rishis only, right? When the rishis were understanding, and then so they understand that, okay, for human beings, what is the lifetime objective? So what is the difference between humans and the other animals, the other living species? Is mainly the karma. That means whatever the past karmas are there, only human beings are able to perform their karma, and then to to enjoy the fruits of the past karma, which is called prarabdham, and then to make new karmas like agami, and then to burn the backlog karma. We can call it as sanchitam. That means which is accumulated for several janmas. So no other animals or birds will not be able to perform any karma, but only humans. With this karma, by doing the good karmas, they should be able to eradicate their past karmas, and then they should become one with the God. God, I use the Paramatma. We are like parts of Paramatma, but one has to attain that is called as mukti. The ultimate objective of any human being is to attain mukti, to become one with the Paramatma. How they will be able to perform this isn't easy. It's not that easy task, right? They'll have to do they have to have some certain environment so that they'll be able to peacefully live and then fulfill their needs, like basic instincts. In addition to that thing, they'll be able to perform their karmas very easily, comfortably. For that reason, they started giving a concept as graham, right? So that's where like it came up. So one has to have a place to live comfortably, and then to be able to perform their karma. We can call it as a sadhana also. The karma is nothing but one of the sadhana. This is called karma yogam, which is explained in the Bhagavad Gita very detail. I don't want to touch that topic. Actually, there are several ways of doing this one to make the sadhana, but everyone has to go through karma yoga. After that one, they'll enter into the jnana yoga. But bhakti yoga will be like underlying factor. With the karma yoga and bhakti yoga, they'll become like a humble, and then they'll be able to understand the reasons for the karma, and then they'll attain the jnanam. This is what the underlying objective. Once they attain the jnanam, then that will lead them with the bhakti, with the unconditional love towards the God, which is called as the bhakti, pure bhakti. They'll be able to attain the mukti, which is called a janma rahitya sati. That means they'll burn all the past karmas so that they'll not be able to get a new janma again, new incarnation again in the next janma. This is what the concept of the objective of the human life. So for this, they need a place. That place we call it as a griham, right? So if you look at the meaning of the griham, so there are several meanings, several words explained in the Amarakosham. We call it as, there are Vachana, we call it as Bhavanam. We have Nilayam, Sadanam, Geham, and then Udavasitam, Veshmam, Sadmam, Niketanam, Mandiram, Nishantam, and then many more. These many names are there for the places to live or to reside. But every name has its own meaning. But among all, they have chosen only one name to call it as a Gruha Pravesham, right? So that is called Griham. Why it is called Griham? This is very interesting factor actually. The meaning of the Amarakosham meaning of the Griham is, there are, we call it as a Gruhaha and then Griham also. Gruhaha means like a pullingam, Griham is a normal, it's an Apansakalingam. The meaning of the Gruhaha is, Grihnati Pravishtani Graha. One more meaning is Graha Upadane, Grahyanta iti Graha. That means the one perceives who enters. That means whoever enters into that thing, it perceives everything. That means it absorbs, and then it gives, it absorbs everything. And the another meaning for the griham is Grihnati Purushena Arjitam Dhanamiti Griham. And then Gruhini Griham Uchyate. Grihini means the wife herself is called as a griham. And then another meaning is Grihnati Purushena Arjitam Dhanamiti Griham. That means the one that receives the money earned by a man and then consumes it. Okay, this is very interesting. We have to be a little cautious about in understanding this one. So whatever the person earns, the money will be consumed for the purpose of the Gruham or for the people who are residing in the Gruham. That's what happens, right? We all earn, but not for ourselves only, but to make it like to bring up our kids and then to bring up like, to maintain our family and to save something for the future and then to perform the dharma karyas. All these things is a complete package, which is called the, to perform this one, we call it as a graham. And then this is what the ultimate objective. That's what we do whenever we perform any puja or anything. We call it as dharma, artha, kama, moksha, siddhyardham. So dharma, artha, kama, mokshas. These four are called as purusharthas. Purusha means the person. Ardha means for what purpose? What is the purpose of life is to enjoy the purusharthas and then to attain the moksham. In this one has to follow the dharma. Dharma has many meanings. Dharma means, there are set of do's and then don'ts. In simple terms I can say that is nothing but the dharma. It has several meanings and then several, several pointers and then everything, what needs to be done, when needs to be done, and then what is the vanaprastha dharma, and so many ashrama dharmas and then varna dharmas and then several things are there. But in a whole context, we can say that dharma is nothing but the do's and then don'ts, right? When a person completely knows about the details about the do's and the don'ts, with that one, they'll be getting the money, which is called ardham, to fulfill their desires, which is kamam, so that when all the desires are fulfilled, when all the wants and the needs and everything is fulfilled, then he'll be get rid of all these things. At one point in time, they'll enter into a state where one doesn't want anything, a calm state, which is called the sannyas ashram. Okay, and then when the sannyas ashram attains, it leads the person to attain the mukti, which is called the sadhana, and then the fruitful state of the sadhana. For all these purpose, a griham is needed. That's why they call it as a griham. And then all these things, who will be doing it? A grihastha ashrama. We have 4 ashramas: brahmacharya ashrama, grihastha, vanaprastha, and then sannyasa. So brahmacharya ashrama will not be having any griham. If you see that the brahmacharis are living at a gurukulam, ideal way of living for a brahmachari is living in a gurukulam. Whereas vanaprastha, the word itself says that vanaprastha means once the person is retired and then fulfilled all his dreams and all desires and everything, all his responsibilities, then they used to go to the forest and then live it there. So that's why like vanaprasthas. And then sannyas ashrama. Sannyasis are also not having any homes. They'll be living in an ashrama, something like that. That is not called as a griham. But where only one ashrama people are supposed to live in a griham, that is called grihastha ashrama. The word itself says that, where a person get married and then with the grihini, and then they live in a place. That place is to perform the dharma karyas. That place is called a griham. So that place is also called as sukhasthanam. So in Sanskrit, like a sukhasthanam, that means a person who gets feel safe and then feel happy and then feel relaxed whenever any person is having any griham, right? And then when we enter there, the person will be always like a peaceful. But if you reside in a lodge, or if we go in any other one place, any relative's place or anything, we'll not be feel free, right? Then only we feel only secured and then safe and then happy in our own homes. That is the reason why that is called as, it is a sukhasthanam. Because wife is there, kids are there, all your main next generation people are there, and then with your parents, whatever, and then you'll be performing the rituals over there. That is the place as called griham. So that is the reason why they have given the utmost importance to the Gruha Pravesham ritual to make a place, eligible for living to perform the dharma karyas. That is the objective. That's the reason why they call it as a griham and then Gruha Pravesham. This is what the basic about what is Gruha Pravesham. And why we need to already covered, to perform dharma karyas along with your wife during the grihastha ashramas, they need a place. That's the reason why they'll have to perform, they need a Gruha Pravesham. And then what are the main dharma karyas that they need to do as a grihastha ashrama, which is called pancha yajnas. Pancha yajnas, which is called Brahma yajno, Deva yajno, Manusya yajno, Bhuta yajno, Pitru yajnaha, which is mentioned in the Vedas. When a person is a grihastha, he needs to perform mandatorily all these 5 yajnas. This is called yajna, is mandatory duty, you can say that. What are these duties are? Brahma yajna means a person has to learn Veda and then follow the and fulfill the Rushiranam. Or else if they are not able to learn the Veda, they need to spend some money towards the Veda Pathshala. Second one is Deva yajna. Deva yajna is to perform the Devata rituals and all, and to help temples meet their expenses and all these things. We have to donate something. Third one is Pitru yajna. Pitru yajna means in the name of like ancestors and the forefathers, like we have to make some Pitru Shraddhas and all these kind of things. And in the name of themselves, we need to donate some money for the good cause. Fourth one is Manusya yajna, to help others. other people and all. That is called the Manav Seva, Madhav Seva. And the fifth one is animals, insects, and everything. That's why like we will be having a, Muggu, we call it as a, at the, so Muggu, all these things, and then we'll be feeding the birds and all these things, right? And then to the Goshalas, like we need to spend some money. To perform all these 5 yajnas mandatorily, first of all, they need to do some Anushtanam, they need to do some Japam, they need to do Sandhyavandanam and these kind of things, or else they need to, like every day, they need to perform some puja at home. So all these things happen, right? To perform all these things, they need a place. That's why like Griham is having utmost importance in one's life. Okay. And then moving to the next section. Okay. So what is the Gruha Pravesham ritual? And okay, in the Gruha Pravesham ritual, so we'll be having a Griham, like we'll purchase a house and then or construct a house. Once it is ready, then we'll have to perform a set of sequential steps to make it eligible to like to meet the Griham qualities. Until then, it is a place, just a place. To make a place, to be able to like live properly and then to perform the dharma karyas, we need to eliminate all the negative energies and then everything there. So for that purpose, like we need to perform something, a step-by-step sequence. Whenever you are entering, I mean, I'll tell you from the Telugu and Andhra and then Karnataka, but every state will be having a different thing. But thing is the sequence and then overall objective is same. Whenever you are entering into the new Gruha Pravesham, for example, to perform we'll clean the house, keep everything clean and then decorate it. So look like a temple and kind of thing. And then while entering it, we'll have to break a pumpkin and then put it over there. And then after that one, like pumpkin or ash god or anything, coconuts will break it and then we'll give a harati to that. That is called a drishti. And then throw it there. And then pour navadhanyas or dhanyas or rice or anything at the main frame. That what do you call that is a graham gadapa, we call it as. I don't know the exact word in English actually. That is the main entrance frame will be there, right? There like we'll perform some puja and then enter into there and then roam around the house and then do a pradakshina kind of thing. And then after that one, you light a fire and then you put a milk over there and then do the Gudan or something. And then in the meantime, like perform the other pujas like Ganapati Puja, Navagraha Mandapa Vahana, and then Vastu Purusha Mandapa Vahana, and then followed by Vastu Homam, and then followed by Satyanarayana Swam Ratama, something like that. That is optional, and some people will be doing some Ganapati Homam and other things as optional. But here, these are the common aspects, and then there is a significance for each and every step there. So we'll have to eliminate, because when you construct the house, right, there are several things knowingly, unknowingly will be done. So because of that thing, there will be a lot of negative energy around it. So we'll have to eliminate it and then perform the Shanti Homam there. After that one has to live in that new house for 3 days and the 3 nights actually. 3 nights you would have heard about it. So after the Gruha Pravesham, one has to stay there for 3 nights. The reason for the 3 nights also, I did an experiment with the Rudraksha and all. So there is a lot of positivity around it after performing the Homam and all. So the energy will be absorbed by the people like who will be residing there, the Bharya Bharta. This is what happening. Then before getting into the details of every step, right? So the next I would like to cover is, Gruha Pravesham. What is the Pradhana Devata of the Gruha Pravesham, right? This is the ritual. After the ritual sequence, we normally call it as a different. Nowadays, like people are calling it a different names and all. But as per the Apastamba Sutram, as per the, I refer to the multiple things. We have Kalau Parashara Smritihi, we have, right? So based on the Parashara Smriti and then Dharma Shastra Granthas, which are applicable for entire, from Maharashtra till entire South India, Southern India, that is applicable actually, which is called Amara Sindhu, Dharma Sindhu. It is a Grantha name. As per the Dharma Sindhu and then as per the Apastamba Sutram is being used by Krishna Yajurvedic people. And then Rigvedic will be using as Ashvalani Sutram. And then there are several Griha Sutras will be there. Okay. But leaving apart, but as per the Dharma Sindhu, Gruha Pravesham means, look, we have to perform a puja and then homam for Vastu Purusha. Vastoshpati we call it as. So Vastu Purusha is the Pradhana Devata. He is the Vastu Purusha. Vastu Purusha is the Pradhana Devata for the Gruha Pravesham. And then we need to invite him along with his Parivaram, which is like 45 other Devatas, along with the Navagrahas, Ashdikpalakas, and then we need to invite them, do the Archana, and then after that to perform the Homam, and followed by like doing the Udvasana and other activities. But before knowing that, who is Vastu? Vastu Purusha and then Vastushpati. Vastu, the meaning of the the root of the word, Sanskrit word Vastu is Vasanti Asmin Niti Vastuhu. Vasanivase. That means where one resides. The place where one resides is called nothing but the Vastu. We simply call it as a Vastu, it's a Shastram, Vastu is a science or something. But actually Vastu means where one resides. Whether it is a temple god, temple Vastu, and then where, if one resides in the one, we call it as a normal Gruha Pravesham, Gruha Vastu. Like this. And then if you are doing a construction of big buildings for Gurukulam or something like that, the Ashram Vastu, everything will be having based on the Vastu. This Vastu also, and Vastushpati, Vastu Gruha Kshetradaha Patihi. Vastu Gruha Kshetradaha Kshetradehe Patihi. Adhidevataha iti Vastushpati. That means the one who controls all the energy flows in a residing place is called as Vastushpati or Vastu Purusha. This is what the person like will be performing the puja as part of the Gruha Pravesham. Right? So, and then now before getting into who is Vastu Purusha and then what is the relation between Vastu Purusha and then ourselves, I'll cover it in the upcoming thing. I mean, in the next few minutes. Right? This Vastu Purusha is a Devata who controls the energy flow in and out about this one. I mean, in and out about like, in a house. So before getting into knowing about this Vastu Purusha, I'll go back again and then cover a little bit of basics about who are the Devatas and then what are the scientific reasons for that one. And then how do we correlate the Devatas into our body, right? Okay. Now we have 4 directions, right? East, West, North and South. Everyone knows that. And then we have 4 corners. And then we have another 2, Urdhvam and then Adham. That means like below and then up. So total altogether we have 10. We call it as a corners or directions or anything. Within these 10 directions only everywhere. Like mainly we have 4 main directions, right? East, West. East is called as a cosmic energy entry point. The Vaishvika Chaitanya Shakti that will be entering into the east through which means sun. Through Surya Narayana every day will be getting the positivity from the east. And then west, that is the reason we call it as the east is always like a positive. That's why whenever you have to perform any puja, you have to sit towards the east. Purvabhimukham, we have to perform the kriya. And then west is the negative energy. This is a positive point. West is the negative point. Because west sun sets, where sun rises, our energy rises, and then we'll get up and then we'll perform all the daily things. Where sun sets, we go to sleep, or else our body starts relaxing, and then we'll be losing energy. Our body wants some rest and all. That's why west is a negative direction, and then east is called a positive, right? So as we have north and south pole, as you all know, so we have a magnetic energy, right? And then based on which the gravitational force and everything will be electromagnetic fields and everything will be operated. So all the planets will be rotating around the sun in the clockwise direction only due to because of the magnetic field. That magnetic field direction is north to south. The north is always positive, south is always negative. If you could remember, this is the reason why it always goes through north to south. It is a clockwise direction. That's the reason why all the planets around the sun, they'll be rotating on except Rahu and Ketu, which is apradikshina, leave it. Anyway, Rahu, Ketu are the shadow grahas. We have only 7 planets, including sun, right? So as per our ritual, I mean, our Veda thing. But all the remaining 6 planets are rotating around the sun. Okay. And so that is in clockwise direction. That's the reason why, like, we also, whenever we go to any temple, we do pradakshina in a clockwise only, but not in the anti-clockwise. Okay, that's a simple phenomena. So here north is positive, east is positive. The most accumulated positive energy will be in the northeast, which is this side, which is called as the Ishanyam. The Ishanyam Adhipati is Paramashiva. So if you look at this Vastu Purusha, you'll be able to figure it out, right? So are you able to do see, or shall I 1 second? Slideshow reading you. Okay, if you can look at this one, right? So Ishanyam Adhipati is Shiva. Okay, and then most accumulated negative energy will be there in the southwest, which is called Nairiti. Okay, in the Nairiti, like Adhipati is Niriti Devata. So, and then Vastu Purusha residing in a different direction. It's a very strange Devata he is. He'll be simply diagonally sleeping and then lying down from the Ishanyam to southern west. If you look at any Devata, either they'll be in a, except our Lord Vishnu, in a sleeping position, but any other Devata will be either sitting or standing positions only. But Vastu Purusha, he neither sits nor stands or nor sleeps also, but sleeps in a diagonal way, which is very strange, right? There is a reason behind it. So head towards the Ishanyam and then legs towards the Nairiti. This is where, like, our Gruha Pravesham actual things comes up, and then Vastu originated here. So here southwest is will be called as Nairiti. If you look at any Vastu, anything, Nairiti will be always having a master bedroom, right? And then Ishanya will be always having, ideal cases, leaving the apartment culture and all, but ideal cases, Ishanya will be keeping a god, temple room, right? Everyone agrees, right? So most accumulated positive energy, which represents, which symbolizes with the god, that's the reason why we keep the temple room there. Most accumulated negative energy, which will be kept is an this one, master bedroom. What are the activities will be done by done in the master bedroom? We all know. A person has to, like, get married to fulfill their bodily needs, one thing, and then to transfer his energy to the offspring. That means like a next generation. Otherwise, if anybody is not having any kids or anything, so based on the Shastras, they tell that, you know, Pitrunam, without Pitrunam, they'll not be able to attain the Mukti. So we'll have to clear up the Pitrunam. How Pitrunam can be removed is by producing the kids, especially a male kid. And then even though, like, female kids also there, especially when the kids are born, that means like his lineage, his Gotram will be continued. So that will be meeting the Upanishad Vakyam, which is called Deva Pitrakarya Bhyana Pramadavyam, which is told in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Shikshavalli. So we should never ever leave the Devakaryas and then Pitrakaryas. But to perform the Pitrakaryas, one should be Aputrasya Gatirnasti, like without having any children, right? They'll not be able to clear up the Pitrunam, so that they'll have to attain the next Janma again. So to avoid that one, they need to, without losing their energy through Viryam, so they'll not be able to get that. So to attain this one, so this represents losing the energy, southwest. But if you continuously losing the energy, how will you be able to, like, how a Grihastha will be able to attain the Mukti? Without losing the energy, they'll not be able to meet their Grihasthashrama karmas. But if they lose the energy, as per the Yoga Shastram, if they lose the energy, Urdhvaretam Virupaksham Vishwarupaya, the one has to transfer the energy without losing downside, and then they'll have to traverse to the upside. That means so that one of the another chakras like Mooladhara, Swadhisthana too, like they'll have to take this energy, that which is called as a Kundalini. So that Kundalini energy, they need to take it to the Sahasraram. Is it possible? It is possible, because they need to fulfill their bodily needs, and then they need to remove the Pitrunam. At the same time, this will happen in the night time, but morning time they'll have to come here, and then they'll have to recharge themselves by performing the Gayatri or Sandhya Vandanam or whatever the ritual it is based on their Varna. Whatever the ritual is supposed to they perform, daily puja and all, they'll have to do the puja. So morning time, they'll come here diagonally and perform the pujas, recharging the energy. night time and then leaving the Nishiddha Tidhis and all, they'll fulfill their bodily needs and everything, and then they'll perform the other things. This will be balanced until end of the Grihasthasrama. The moment Grihasthasrama is over, once they enter the Vanaprastha, in current terms, we can say that Vanaprastha is nothing but the retired. Once a person is retired, right, all the body needs will be fulfilled, and then they never bother about this southwest, the negative energy. They'll work towards the positivity. 1 second. They'll work towards the positivity. Yeah. Yeah. And then they'll perform the sadhana, and then they'll attain the mukti here. So they'll reach the Paramashiva from there. So they start their journey at the lowest level, which is at the feet, and then they travel towards Ishanyam, and then they'll attain the mukti. That is the reason why this Vasta Purusha represents in a different direction here. I hope you all understand about this one, the concept behind this one in terms of energies. And along with this Vasta Purusha, right? And this is one aspect. Another aspect is, so who are these devatas, and then who are the control? Devatas are nothing but the controlling forces and then functional energies of the nature. If you look at the cosmos, right? So we all would have studied about the Big Bang theory and then black hole theory. What is the Big Bang theory? All of a sudden there is a God particle. That particle has been blown, and then into then it started, the entire universe started creating. Once it stops creating, then it starts getting backside and then sucked towards it, and then went and then completely disappeared. The creation and then expansion of that is nothing but the Big Bang theory, and the sucking and then it is went back to its original place and then disappearing completely. It is called the black hole theory. So this is called the creation is called Srishti, which is led by Brahma. The expansion is called pervading, and then expansion, that is called Sthiti, that is nothing that represents the Vishnu with his wife Lakshmi. And then the destruction, the sucking out, going back to its original state, which is black hole theory, that will be done by destroyer, the Shiva or Rudra, you call it as, along with Parvati. So Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Srishti, Sthiti, and then Layam, that is called. That is the primary thing. And to perform all these things, if you look at the universe, right, at the night time especially, you will be seeing billions and then billions of stars, and then billions of several celestial objects also. But not even one object is hitting the other object, and then no star is hitting other star. No planet is hitting other planet. And if you look at the planetary system, there are several planets are there. All the planets are rotating in a clockwise direction in a precise way with a proper time calculation around the sun, right? Isn't it? And who has given that path? Who is controlling that forces? Modern scientists, they'll call it as electromagnetic fields, and then there are several other energies which are binding towards the center of the sun, and then that's the reason why they are rotating. But our Veda and then Upanishads have given all these things long time ago. These forces are nothing but the Prana Shakti, we call it as. That Prana Shakti is given by whom? That we call it as either Narayana, or Vaishnavas call it as Narayana, and then Shaktayas call it as Amma, and Shaivas call it as Sadashiva, and then Ganapatyas call it as Mahaganapati, and Shanmukha call it as the Shanmukha, and Saurates, the person who follows the Sauramatam, they call it as Surya. So whoever you name it, that will be the one energy that starts and then creates and then controls everything. Without that, there is nothing. That force is explained clearly in the Lalita Sahasranam also. Moola Prakritihi Avyakta, Vyakta, Avyakta Swarupani. Initially in the form of seed form, which is Avyaktam, which is invisible. Then after that one, when it starts expanding, it will be appeared as a Vyaktam. That means we are able to see everything. Then after some time, it goes back again. That is called Layam. Again Avyaktam. All these things are controlled by only one Swarupam, which is called Amma. Moola Prakritihi Avyakta, Vyakta, Avyakta Swarupani. And the same Nama, we can find it in the Shiva Sahasranam, Surya Sahasranam, Ganapati Sahasranam, Vishnu Sahasranam, everything. Vyakta, Avyakta, Swarupini Namaha, Swarupini Namaha. So several numbers are there, which explain the same concept. Right? To perform all these things, they'll be having an axis, right? So because one galaxy is having rotating in the entire universe, entire cosmos, you can say that is having one axis. Likewise, Earth is having one axis, Sun is having one axis. With this axis, they're rotating. This axis is called Mooladhara Shakti. That Mooladhara Shakti is nothing but Tvam Mooladhare Sthitos Nityam, whom we call it as, in the Ganapati Adharva Shirsam, we call the Ganapati as the Mooladhara Sthiti. The same Mooladhara, so our humans also will be having 7 chakras, out of which the first chakra is Mooladhara Chakram. The Mooladhara Chakram, Adhipati Devata is Ganapati. Why it is called Mooladhara? It is interesting because without having any axis, nothing can be rotated, nothing can be stand anywhere. Even if you put any object in the space, there should be some binding forces, right? Without the binding forces, how an object will be simply rotating there or simply roaming it up? If we want to stand something, our gravitational, the center of gravity is binding towards the earth gravitational force that is creating the axis so that one is able to stand. If there is a problem in the Mooladhara, that means spine or any issues, right? One will not be able to stand, one will not be able to sit. So one has to lie down completely, isn't it? You agree with me, right? So that Mooladharam is Ganapati. That is the reason why in the Gruha Pravesham ritual or any ritual, we perform the first puja to Mahaganapati. The reason behind this one. Because without the access, nothing is exist. After the access only, we'll be doing everything. That's why like Mahaganapati is there. And then we have a Srishti Sthiti Layam, which represents the Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. These called as a Lokapalakas, mainly like Pradhana Panchapalakas actually. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, and then Durga and Ganapati. These are called the Panchapalakas. So these will be invited when we perform the Vastupurusha Puja. And we have other devatas also, Aditya Navagraham, and then Indra Dashtak Palakas, all these things. But what is the relation between these devatas and then Vastupurusha to our body, our graham? This is, we need to think about this. So this also, Upanishad tells that Sa Atma Anga Anyanya Devata. It was explained in Taittiriya Upanishad again in Sikshavalli. The Paramatma appears as the form of Atma in each and every living being. So that means, and in a cell, like we'll be having oxygen and then we'll be having a pranam, right? So the pranam is nothing but the Atma. Okay. Angani Anya Devataha. Whereas the other devatas are nothing but the body parts of the human being or whatever the living being. We tell everything in perspective of a human being. So Angani Anya Devataha. So all the other devatas, whoever we call as Aditya Navagrahas and Indra Dashtak Palakas, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, everybody is nothing but our body parts. Why? We need to understand this one. Because if you look at the universe, there is a Big Bang happened and the blast happened, and then there are several objects created. Every object is having its own properties. If you look at the Saturn, the way Saturn behaves, Jupiter Graham will not be behaving. The way Sun behaves, and then Moon will not be behaving. The way Venus behaves, Earth will not behave. The way Earth behaves, and then other planet is doesn't behave. But everything has its own way of living, own way of maintaining, own way of continuing. So, and then but everything is born from the same origin, but everything is behaving in a different direction. Why? Because the binding force is same, binding force might be same, but thing is everything, once it is becomes like a vyaktam, visible, it has its own properties. So, but these are all binding towards with only one single energy, which is called a prana shakti in a universe, we call it as. Okay. In the same way, if you look at your body, every body part requires some certain amount of energy. So if you look at the hands, one second. Yeah. If you look at the hands requires certain amount of energy, and then legs require certain amount of energy. Eyes require certain amount of energy. If you give the energy which is required for the hands to eyes, what happens? It will be like a hemorrhage because more blood circulation will be there and then it will be pumped out. In the same way, the amount of energy which requires for the eyes, if you give it to hands or legs, it will be paralyzed. So every body part requires a certain amount of energy with the plus or minus slight deviation. Even if you cross any such kind of deviation, either you'll get admitted into the hospital or you'll be getting in the favor of these kind of things. Who is controlling all these forces in your body? right? That is nothing but the prana shakti in the form of Vyanam. We have a pancha pranas. It will be more elaborated. Forgive me. So actually, so pranam, apanam, Vyanam, Udanam, Samanam. We have 5 parts of the pranam there. The air we intake, that will be divided into 5 parts, and then out of which Vyanam named one air that will be spreading across all the body. Okay, so with this Vyanam, everything is connected together, but every body part requires a certain amount of energy. Imagine if you don't have any pranam, the Atma is not there in your body. What happens? Body parts are there, but nothing will work. But other case, Atma is there, but body parts are not there. You will not be able to see that what is happening, right? So Atma and then body parts should work together, so to make it work. The one who controls this one is called the Ishvara and the Devatas. Okay, in the macrocosmos, here Atma and then body parts in a microcosmos in our body. So then what is the relation between this one and then Vastu Purusha and then Gruham? Our body is nothing but the Gruham. Our body is considered as a Gruham for ourselves. Gruham is ourselves, like this is. The Gruham who resides in our body is the Atma, is called as nothing but the Vastu Purusha. So if we keep it as a separate entity, then the Gruham indicates our body. The Gruham, the energy, the primary energy which controls all the things in the Gruham is nothing but the Vastu Purusha. You got it? So to perform various actions in this one, so the Gruham will be having, the Vastu Purusha will be having a separate devatas called as 45 different devatas. Like the way we are having a different body parts to perform various executions, and then in the same way, that will be having, the Vastu Purusha will be having a 45 plus Aditya Navagrahas. This is what exactly, this is what the similarity. That means if you are residing in your Gruham, nothing but the Vastu Purusha who is residing in your body, sorry, in your Gruham, is residing in your body only. If you are performing any puja to Vastu Purusha or Aditya Navagraha, it is nothing but performing and then stimulating yourself. Because when you expose to that particular mantra, the body, the Atma or the body, other parts and the energies which are residing in your body will be activated, so that your mind will work properly, and then you will be able to perform the dharma karyas without any deviations. This is the reason why there is the utmost importance given to the Gruha Pravesham ritual also. Okay, here I'll take a path. So in the Gruha Pravesham, right? So after the, ideally, like in a normal case, while doing the Gruha Pravesham, we invite this Ganapati Puja. Already explained that is the Mooladhara, and then we have to do. But what happens in the Gruha Pravesham? When you construct the home, right? So there are several things. That means the land might be having some mines and then minerals. Okay, and the land might be having some shalyas. That means previously some animals would have been lived and then died over there, and then the leftover parts, the residuals of those parts, like in the form of bones and all, that would have been reside there beneath the ground. And then so many animals and then insects would have been died, and then those calabaras that would have been also exist. And so many people, animals would have been excreted. So all these things, what do you call it, this one, I don't know exact word, that's an informal word, but shit kind of thing, right? So that will also be there. So when you are having a lot of apavitram, and then when you constructing it, right? So when you dig the land and everything, there are so many insects, like earthworms, and then these kind of insects would have been died. And then when you remove all the trees and everything, you are killing the trees over there. And when you are constructing the house, you grab the land. In the land, some animals will be living under the earth, and then on top of the earth, and then on trees and all, so many insects and everything will be there. So every animal, every insects will be losing their home. Just when a person construct a home, several hundreds and thousands of insects and other animals will be losing their homes. So what they'll be doing is they'll be crying. So if anybody comes our home and then drag ourselves out of the home, and then grab our home and then throw us out of the home, what will we do? We'll cry, right? we'll cry and then we'll curse the person. In the same way, all these insects, animals, everything will be cursing. That cursing is nothing but the Ashanti. So to remove that Ashanti, we have to do the Shanti Prakriya, so that we have to do some Prayashittam kind of thing to make it work, remove the Ashanti. When you are having Ashanti, when anybody is crying, right, there is a lot of negative energy around that surroundings. So we have to eliminate that. That is one reason. Another reason, as I explained, that if there are any minerals or mines exist in that one, right, that produce a lot of negative energy. So that will create a lot of radiations. That is the reason why nobody lives near any mines, if you can look at it. So, or else if anybody is living just for the sake of like living also, if you go to any coal mines or any gold mines or anything, it's very difficult living there actually. They'll be having some or other cancer or some or other diseases actually. Why it is being caused is because of the radiation create. So if we don't know, if we grab any land, what is there in the, whether it's a mineral or anything, that's why we have to do the cleanup activity. That will be done by the vibrations created by this Vastu mantra. That is another one. Another one is, while constructing a home, right, as I explained this, so the cosmic energy entry point is east, exit point is west. Like this magnetic field will be north and south. So when you are having these kind of energies, right, energy entry point and then an exit point should be there. That means when you open any door, like, when you have a door at the east side, the air enters into the home through east. So, and then when you, so in the house, right, we all like exhale. Through exhale, right, all the carbon dioxide and all the negative energy, emotions, everything will be residing in that home only. That will be pushed out. To push out, right, there should be exactly opposite direction. One exit should be there, so that all the negative energies which is caused because of the people living in that house will be thrown out by the positive energy which is coming from the outside. That means outside air or wind or whatever we call it as. That is what the ancient Vastu. That is the reason why if you go to any ancient houses, old houses, right, if there is a main Gruha, main entry, exactly opposite, they'll be having a another entry or another window or another door to enter into the backyard. Similarly, if there is a window one side, exactly opposite side there will be any door or window will be there. But that is not possible to the apartment culture. The reason behind this is, and energy enters into your house and then grabs all the negative energy which is caused because of the exhales and all, and then take out and then throw out of the home, so that your house will be always having a positive. So that is the reason why we'll always have habit of like open the doors and then windows during the daytime. This is the reason behind it. So this one to perform this one. But if you are not able to perform this one, right, that means like while constructing the house, if you are not having the exact directions and then all these things, if there is no exit, only entry is there, then where this energy will be going? Your house will be completely like full of negative energy only. To eliminate such kind of negative energy, we use the reside on, we depend on the mantra, which is called a Vastu, right? Another one is, while creating that, we'll be killing so many insects and the animals, right? While killing it, right, we'll be getting some sin because of murdering those animals, insects. To get out of that sin, we have to perform the Shanti. That is Vastu Shanti. Another reason is, while constructing the house, so many people will be like constructing the daily wages and all these people will be coming up. We don't know what kind of ashaucham they will be carrying it. Anybody will be having mruta shaucham. That means any anjata shaucham. If anyone new baby born, up to 11 days, there will be ashaucham will be there. They should not touch anything. And rajasvala ashaucham. If they are having any wives, and then during the period time, right, monthly period time, they are not supposed to touch anything. But we never know like what kind of people will be coming, and then what they'll be taking it, what they will be touching it. When they touch all these things, everything will be not eligible, not ready for the living and then perform the dharma karyas, to perform any rituals. So we have to clean those kind of things and then make it eligible. That's why like we perform the Vastu Shanti. And if you look at the sankalpam of the Vastu Shanti, right? So this is how the sankalpam, I already explained that. So एतत् प्रासादात् अविच्छिन्न भूमि अधिष्ठित देवतोपरप जनितोपसर्ग निवृत्तिपूर्वक प्रासादात् अधिष्ठित वास्तुपुरुष देवतानुग्रह प्रसाद सिद्ध्यर्थं सर्व संकट नानाविध रोगादि सर्वोपद्रव शांति संपत् आयुरारोग्य धनधान्य द्विपद चतुष्पद पुत्र पौत्राभिवृद्ध्यर्थं Suvarna, Rajata, Tamra, Trapu, Sesa, Kamsya, Loha, Pashanat, Ashtatila. This is what explain about the minerals. And then Medini Dosh Nirsanardham, Ayabhyayadi Anyadha Bhavana Nana Vidha Himsa Dosha Pariharardham. This is what the about like killing other insects and other things. Etat Kshetra, Avichinna Bhumi Adhishta Devatoprabha, Jantopasarka Nivrityardham, Vastu Krita Sarvadosha Upasankyardham. This is nothing but how they are supposed to construct, what they have constructed, what are the deviations. When you are having a deviation, there will be a deviation and dissipation of the energy also. Because of the dissipation of energy, your mind will not work properly. The one person like who resides in the house, right, they'll not be able to sleep properly. If they're not able to sleep properly, their brain will not be able to work properly, and then they'll not be able to take right decisions, and then they'll not be able to grow further, and then they'll be doing all the kind of mistakes. So the results will be in the negative ways. That's what happens. That's what Guru Garu said, right? Some people who have not performed the Vastu and then but resides in their own, they have got some bad situations because after performing the ritual, again everything gone. This is what happens, like Vastu Krita Sarvadosha Upashantyardham. And then Etasthala Sarva Karmachari Krita Jiva Himsadi Janya Pratyavayu Pariharardham Tadha Krimi Kita Patangadi Himsa Dosh Nivrityardham. Vriksha Aushadhyadi Chedana Parvaka Kritya Dosh Nivrityardham. These are all killing the animals, killing the insects, killing the trees and everything also. And then Etas Kshetrantargata Shalyadi Dosha Nyunatrikta Nirgama Bheda Dosha Prakaralopa Dosha Hina Lakshana Vastu Dosh Nivrityardham. And then Prakarantare Brahmagradi Mahapatita Janapravesh Nirthanardham Daivika Raj Vidvarena Supta Mutra Purishosam Dosha Pariharardham. This means like while constructing the house, right, they're not supposed to use any bathrooms and all. But thing is, where they'll be going, they'll be using it. So that means the constructing people and all, right, construction people, they'll be using these bathrooms and all. So when they use the bathrooms and all, you will not be, that house will not be ready because somebody else already used in that one. So that is called one kind of dosha, because the thoughts and then the physical association is there with that house, and then when you enter that one, their emotions also will be influencing your mind. This is what happens. That's the reason why that is also dosha, that also need to be removed. Okay. And then jata ajnato jnatava jata shoch murtasho janapravesh dosh pariharardham rajasvala stri dosha pariharardham pravesh dosh pariharardham अस्मिन् कर्मणि सर्वमंगल संपत्ति द्वारा यजमानाभ्युद्धं संस्थाभ्युदय परंपराभ्युद्धं वास्तु होमनं करिष्ये. This is what happens. This is what the objective of the Vastu Homam. That means there will be a lot of negative energies will be coming up through different ways. So the purpose of performing this Vastu Homam is to eliminate all the negative energies and then to build the positive energies. Right? This is what the details about the Sankalpam. And then when you go to the next step, what happens exactly? So when you enter into the house, right, after performing the Ganapati Puja, will be performing the Punyahavatanam. Punyahavatanam is the first level of purification process. There will be kalashams, and then where we'll invite the Ganga, Yamuna, these kind of with the mantras, right, will energize the water, and then by doing the Samprokshana to entire house, right, then so that first level of purification will be done. After that one, we'll invite all the devatas in terms of mandapas. We'll put a, there is a cloth will be put on top of that thing, a rice will be poured, in between like kalasham will be put, and then around that, if you have ever seen that actually, with the palm leaves and all, like some coins and all, we'll put in a specific order, and then there like we'll invite all the gods. So I'll show you in the same way. 1 second. Where is This is what the mandapam will be. We'll call it as a mandapam. In this mandapam, you can see that there will be 8 by 8 actually 64 things will be there. Different devatas will be invited. These all devatas are nothing but different energy forces which controls the house and then which controls your body also. Whichever place that whichever energy is not good, that particular place the person will be suffering it. Okay, like that, and then we'll invite them. And then whoever was invited, right, after that one will perform the homam also. The meaning of the the mantram, Vastu Purusha mantram is Vastu Oshpade Pratijane Hesman Svavesho Anamivo Bhavanaha Yatvima Heptatano Jushas Vashamna Edhid Vipadeshan Chatuspade. There Sham na Edhi Vipade Shanchatuspade. That means, and then Vastoshpade Jushaspa. These are the keywords actually, and then Anamiva. So I'll emphasis on these things only. That means we call it as Hey Vastoshpati, Hey Vastupurusha Devata, So Bhavanaha, Bhavan, that means like we are respective God with the due respect. We are performing some Havanam and then Puja to please you. So by being pleased, you shower your blessings so that to eliminate all the diseases which is caused due to amoeba, anamoeba. Amoeba means the smallest living entity that can cause diseases. That means that that will not be visible, but thing is that can cause diseases, maybe like amoeba kind of thing. So maybe from amoeba, the word amoeba would have been came into picture. We heard about the amoeba, right, which causes the diarrhea and then that eventually lead to death. So amoeba is one of the smallest living entity that can cause the. So we call it as, in this mantram, we call it as anamoeba. That means by eliminating such kind of smallest invisible krimis also, and then give us, shower your blessing in terms of like sham. Sham means sukham. Sham means shanti. Sham means like health, wealth, prosperity, everything. Na edhit vipade shanchadashpade. The persons who are having like a two legs animals, which are humans, living in that particular graham, and then nowadays we are not having it, but thing is ancient times, and then if you go to villages, they'll be having a cows and then mahishis, that means buffaloes and goats, all these kind of things also, right? So chatushpade, the persons, the animals, two legs animals, humans living in this graham, and then four legs animals living in this graham, all these things will be free of all the diseases, and then they'll be living in a health, wealth, and then prosperity. So bless us. This is what the meaning of this mantram. What we do is, when you perform any Vastu Homam, we repeat this mantram for 108 times. When you do it 108 times, because of the mantram power which is caused, so what happens is that creates certain amount of energy which is called a kshetram. As I mentioned earlier, Gruham kshetradoho adhipatayoh vastupurushah. Kshetra means field. It creates a field, energy field, like a magnetic field. So, and then it eliminates all the negative energies there. That's what happens as part of like a Vastu Homam. So what that energy will cause is, that energy will influence our body and then eliminates the diseases also. So if you could remember the Corona days, Corona was invisible, but what is the damage that caused? It almost halted the entire world. Everyone agrees, right? Where that Corona krimi is, it is very, very sukshmati sukshma, very, very, very small. And it is not even not visible to the naked eyes, and then not even with the it is with a very difficulty, like they could find it out with the high power electronic microscopes, right? With such kind of krimis also, if anything is exist, because of the things explained earlier, like mruta jivis and then mruta trees and all these things, shalyas and all these things, that will be completely eliminated. This is what exactly happens in the Vastu Home. And in addition to Vastu Mantram, we have several other Devata Mantrams also. I'll just touch base very high level in the interest of time. Within just next 5-10 minutes, I'll close this up. So if you look at this, Aditya, Navagrahas, and then Panchalok Palakas, I've already covered. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, what are the purpose? And then Ganapati, what is the purpose? Durga, there is another. Durga is nothing but the protecting force, which protects ourselves and then body, mind, everything. That force is nothing but the Durga. Okay. And then we have Aditya Navagrahas, right? We know the Surya. Surya is the cause for life. If anybody is living, because of sun god only, like will be living. Otherwise, where there is no sunrise exist, like in poles region, there will not be any life, or very less amount of life will be there. Normal people will not be able to live. So sun rays are the reason for the living. That's why sun centers in the sun will be always like center in the resides in the center of Navagrahas. And then next one is Chandra. Chandra controls the mind. That means to make any decision, to think anything, your mind should be there. And then if your mind is not working, if you are in a stressful state, if you just go roam under the moonlight for some time, you will be completely like a calm, getting into the calm state. So because Chandra is a Manakkaraka. And the next graham is Angaraka Graha. Angaraka Graha controls our body. That means physical, like that flesh, bones, and then skin, all these things, muscles, everything will be controlled by Angaraka. Angaraka is called as a Aruna Graham. So our body also, if you cut anything, it will be always in a red, Raktavarnam, right? And the next graham is Buddha. Buddha is nothing but the intellectual faculty of your mind. So that means if you want to take any decisions, so whatever mind gives the thoughts, but among the thoughts, you need to segregate the thoughts and then take a right decisions. Otherwise, you'll be always like an oscillating situation. You'll ask n number of people to take the decision. You will not be able to take any decision. So that decision power will be given by Buddhi, that Buddha Graham. And the next Graham is, Bruhaspati. Bruhaspati is nothing but the learning ability, the ability of learning. So if you want to learn anything, so whether cooking or anything, or office work or anything, we have to learn something. So that learning ability will be given by Guru, Bruhaspati. That's why we call it as a Guru. We bow down to always like a Guru. Next one is Shukra. Shukra Graha is a Tejas, the brightest star in the, our planetary system, right? The brightest star indicates the Tejas. The Tejas indicates in the human body is nothing but the Viryam. From a human male, and then from a female, right? It is like a Om Andam. So when that is called the Kshetram, this is called Bijam. When the Bija Kshetram mix up, the next generation kids will be produced, right? To produce this producing ability is nothing but this will be controlled by Shukra. When Shukra Graham is not good in their horoscope, right? There will not be good relation between a wife and husband. This is one thing. And the next Graham will be Shani. Shani controls the Ayu. So the Ayu Pramanam will be controlled by Shani. That means the lifespan will be controlled by Shani. The next one is Rahu. Rahu controls the optical nervous system. That means whatever you see, that will be information will be goes to the brain. That system will be controlled by Rahu. When Rahu Graham is not good, right? Chaksha Pidopashantaye. That means the person will be having either cylindrical sights and then these kind of severe sights and all. Next one is Ketu. Ketu is nothing but he controls the entire, nervous system, central nervous system. That means our body is full of neurons, right? Because of that only, if anybody touches or even mosquito bites, and then our brain will be able to see that. I mean, understand it, identifies it. Who is controlling it? The Ketu. If Ketu is not good, the person will be getting at neurological disorders. Like this, and then Dikpalakas also having Indra indicates the Indriyas. That means the senses power will be controlled by Indra. Next Dikpalaka Agni, the fire which is residing in our body. If the fire is not maintaining proper temperature, will be getting the fever. Next one is Yama. Yamasthana means like the person controls there are several cells will be dying each day, right? And then several things will be dying, and then several things will be born. So these things will be controlled by Yama. And then in the other universe, he controls all the dying, like all the animals. If any animals or plant species are not having any death, right? That entire universe will be filled up with population only. But he controls that, he ensures that. And then Niruriti controls the power of, to live with your wife and then perform all the grihasthasana related activities. Varuna indicates that the Putra Pautra, that means like all the Pashu, all these things. That means your family and then your kids, everything will be, and then their Poshana, everything will be controlled by Varuna. Vayu indicates your like prana, the way like you intake the breath and then you will be able to exhale, that will be controlled by Vayu. And then Kubera is, indicates the Jataram, the digestive system is the portion of like a place of the era. So if the Kubera is not good, you will be getting diseases. That's why in Telugu, there is a Samhita called Arogyame Mahabhagyam. Your health is nothing but your wealth. Health is wealth, right? So if you consume anything, that should be divided into pieces and then that will be converted into chyme, and then enzymes, all this process will be triggered. That process will be triggered in the digestive system. If the digestive system is not good, then everything will be that is the portion of like Kubera, which is himself. This is the god. And then next one, Ishana controls that your interest towards performing the sadhana and then make your sadhana consistent. That ability will be given by Ishana, that means Ishvara. So this is what happened when you perform all these pujas and then chanting all these mantras during the Vastu Homam and all. Your body, the person, the devatas which are controlling your body parts, that area will be stimulated so that signals will be sent to your brain. The brain will be taking the right decisions and then getting into the calm state. That's why if you perform any puja or anything, or else if you go to any temple, what happens is because of this energy, one person getting into the calm state and then come as a relaxed person. But that will not happen if you go to any shopping complex or any other places because of the negative energies there. That's a overall picture about this Vastu, and then Vastu Parivara Devatas, and then the reason for performing the Gruha Pravesham. The Gruha Pravesham is nothing but the Vastu Purusha living in a Gruham is nothing but the Paramatma, the Atma living in your body. And then Vastu Purusha, Adhyayana, Pratyadhyayana, all these people, all these energies indicates the body parts and then various functional energies which are locating in your body. So when you make this Vastu Puja, that means the Gruham will be completely free of all the negative energies, and then it will be ready to perform your Dharma Karyas, which are Panchayajnas. So that when you perform the Panchayajnas over a period of time, and then you'll be having kids, you'll be clear of all the runas, so that your path will be clear once you retired, so that your mind will be focusing on performing either Japam or getting into any Dharma Karyas. Like our Guru Garu, he is 80 years old, but thing is he always like wants to conduct these kind of things, right? How many retired people are really focusing such kind of thing? Very few people, right? And then whoever attended this program, and then they are interested towards this. But thing is, there are several hundreds and thousands of retired people are there. But thing is, what they are doing, they'll be talking about politics, and then they'll be talking about something. Why? Because those energies, those devatas, anugrahas are not there on them. That is the reason why. So we'll have to perform all these rituals, and the main significance of this Vastu Purusha and then Vastu Homa is this one. And then after one, there are Bali, and then in Karnataka, if you see that Ashtadikpalaka Bali will be there. So that means like they'll be satisfying themselves by offering the Koshmanda or Masha Bali. That means like urad dal kind of thing, soaked in urad dal, or else Anna Bali, rice, cooked rice, or else they'll be giving it as a ash god pieces as a Bali. So to satisfy, that is a kind of Naivedyan to the Dikpalakas and then other Devatas. This is what, once you getting into completing this Vastu Homam, the energy will be there for 3 days. So if you are into deep meditation, people will be able to understand that is something cannot be explained. One has to experience it. So if you are into a pranayama and then deep meditation kind of thing practices, if you after performing the Vastu Homam, if you can perform the Japam there for 3-4 days continuously, you'll be able to understand the differences between in your concentration levels. I have noticed in several homes and then observed that the first 3 days the energy will be more. After that one, even though if you try hard to concentrate also, some or other influences will be there if they are not doing the daily puja there. This is what happens. So after 3 days again, they'll have to continue this by recharging, by performing the pujas. This is the reason why like one has to perform the Gruha Pravesham to fulfill their Dharma Karyas and then their Purushabdhas. With this one, I would like to conclude. And any questions from anybody?
I'm Papaya Sripad. I have one question.
Yes, sir.
See, they always say once you cross 7 seas, I have been in America for almost 40 years. And
Okay.
they say that this is not important. This Vastu, whenever you build a house. And so I would like to have some input regarding that. What do you think?
Yes, sir. See, it's a simple, sir. Because if you feel that your body is important, Vastu is also important. Because there is no difference between your Gruham and then your body. As I explained, right? This is not I explained. This is what the Rishis explained. So, and then see, if you really want to perform any Dharma Karyas, right? So what you need mainly the focus, right? The concentration. So, and then to the will to perform the Dharma Karya without any distractions and then deviations. When you start doing the Sandhya Vandana or something, when you perform the Gayatri Japam, your focus should be fully focused on the Gayatri Japam only, right? And then the Mantrabdha only. But if you are, see, to achieve that state, right, you should be having a proper environment, right? Isn't it? Like, for example, I'll give you a proper example. So there will be operations ICU and then NICUs will be there, and then we'll be having operation theater, right? Not everyone will be eligible to enter into the operation theater, right? When you enter into the operation theater, and then at the same time they'll not perform the operations or any surgeries everywhere, right, outside. So they have set up a kind of environment where they'll be able to perform certain tasks. Similarly, we need to set up our own environment to perform certain tasks. That is the reason why Vastu is utmost important. Vastu is nothing but it is not a belief. So there is a lot of misconception. I would not dare to tell their names because they are very much pravachana kartas in Telugu. So very well known and they're very good at explaining the Mahabharata and then Sahitya and then Sahasravadhanis, these kind of people. But thing is, those kind of people also, they say that Vastu is a Myodhanamakam. Jyotisham is a, this is a blind belief kind of. No, this is not, nothing is blind belief. Vastu is called as Kalpa Shastram, came from the Kalpa Shastram. Kalpam, Jyotisham, all these are the Angas of the Vedas. Without that, Veda is nothing but the abstract version. As I mentioned, as Guru Garu mentioned initially, right? Veda gives that the abstract of the mantras somewhere. But thing is, application of those mantras should be explained in the Kalpa Shastram and then various other things also, right? So to understand that thing, this is a pure science. So that's why I covered my observations, the years of study in terms of, I tried explaining in terms of the scientific aspects only. But if you literally look at that particular thing, right, you need a digestive system. That means you need a Kubera, right? So it is similarly, if you want to do that Vastu Purusha, as I explained that, in that one, what they have Vastushpati, in Namakam, they call it as Namo Vastavya Yatava Stupaya Cha. So the Rudra himself appears as a form of Vastu Purusha. And if you look at the Puranic story of this Vastu Purusha is born from the, when Shiva was killing the Andhakasura, right? Andhakasura, one of the, his pet has fallen on the Shiva and then it turns as a Vastu Purusha who will be having full hungry only. So this is the symbolic story. And then he is nothing but the part of Shiva only, right? He born from the Shiva and then he treats Shiva as his father only. But the story is completely different and then that will be like a misleading kind of thing. And then if you don't understand properly in depth. But so Vastu Purusha is nothing but the Shiva himself. Who is the Shiva? The Prana Shakti itself, right? So without that Prana Shakti, you can't live anywhere. See, knowingly or unknowingly, every Gruham will be having that Prana Shakti. So if you know it, if you are aware of it, with the awareness and then with the consciousness, you'll be able to make the best out of it. If you are not aware of it, like other people, will be just treating it as a sadhanam, bhavanam, just a residing place only. Why? That will never become like a Gruham. As long as you are aware and then you are conscious, then only we call it as a Gruham. Otherwise, it will be like a residing place, like a lodge or motel or whatever you call it as, right? So that's why I explained at the beginning of Pit one, right? So Sadhanam, Bhavanam, and there are several places. Geham, Udavasitam, Veshmam, Sadmam, Niketanam, Nilayam. These many names were given in the Sanskrit Amarkosham. Because there is, every word has its own meaning and then there is a purpose for that one. If the purpose is not fulfilled, then we never call it as a Graham. And then you will never be able to perform your Dharma Charana. Without that, next Janma will be like a Tiriyak only. That was explained in by Guru Garu, in Mahanarayana Upanishad. Samyak means like humans, the spine will be in a vertical position. Tiriyak means like spine will be in a horizontal position. They will not be having any buddhi and all. So this happens when you don't treat that graham as a house as a graham. It becomes like your next janma will be like a Tiriyak. To avoid that thing, we need to make it as a graham. I hope answered your question.
Oh, okay. So a place is not the fact, means India or America, everything. So we have to do all this. So that's what you mean.
Right. Ideally, so, but there are some, some Shastra limitations for there. Earlier, ancient people, they were not crossing the seas and the oceans and all, because they were never need to go to any other place. And then the entire place was called as Jambudvipam. Before the tectonic planes divided into the parts, right? This was explained in Mahabharata actually. So the Bhishma explains that. So when the tectonic plates happened, and then there is a friction appears, and then entire Jambudvipa was divided into several other dvipas actually. So then people were not needed to go to any other dvipa because they never needed. Now it is needed.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that we don't need to stop all these rituals. We can perform.
Oh, that's a very good. That's a very good analogy. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Any other questions, sir?
Yeah, I have one question, Ramachandra, Purushottam here.
Yes.
Good
Yes, sir.
evening.
Good evening.
It's
Very
a
good evening.
wonderful coverage, very enlightening
Yeah.
and very rational. One almost a trivial question for you. You may choose not to answer also, but I find the Navagrahas facing different directions always.
Yes.
And is there any significance? Number one. Number two, similarly, for each Graha, different colors, different stones, and different flowers are identified. Is there any correlation you could find in your observation or in your knowledge?
Actually, the purpose of the different direction is under study, sir. But for the remaining colors and all, right, and then colors and the stones and all these things. So as I mentioned, right, so every graha is owning a part in our body. So the part is connected with certain nerves, and then those nerves will be ending in our hands. Okay, and then legs also. As per the acupuncture, acupressure treatment, you'll be having a pressure points for every body part at your in your hands and the legs. Actually, you would have heard about that one, right? So what happens is, when you what our rishis have studied is, they identified certain stones. When you wear that stone on that particular finger in the particular quantity, they'll mention clearly. If it is a Pushyaraga, it should be like a 4-character, 3-character something, and then that should be worn on a specific finger only. And then when you are wearing such kind of thing, what happens is the sunlight will fall in on that particular stone, and then the stone's end will be always like a concave, right? No, concave, no, convex. So that single point end. So the energy will be, the sun rays will be pointed towards, like, and then it acts like a laser. It stimulates that particular nerve there. That sends a signal to your brain. So whatever the negativities or whatever the different things the brain is doing because of that particular graha in a bad position, okay, and then that will be corrected. Okay, this is one aspect. And the second aspect is, as per the color psychology, modern scientists also tell, right, when you look at a particular color, your brain will behave differently based on the colors. That's why, like, every graham will be having a different colors, and then these colors are nothing but the grahams actually, the grahams colors. For example, Venus, as I mentioned, it is the brightest star, right? The stone for the Venus is diamond. If you look at the diamond, if you look at the Venus, in the both in the same way, both looks alike, right? And then both are brightest, right? And then brightest means like it produces the spark. The same spark will be having there in the Virium also. Like, I don't know, I mean, don't take me wrong or anything, but because of that spark only, it can produce a another life, right? That has the ability to produce another life. The same thing with the seed also. That is called Amrita Tattvam. That seed will be having the otherwise the seed will be, if you sow any seed, right? If it is able to produce something, that is the anugraha of the Shukram. If Shukram is not there, the Shukragraham is not there, then it will not be causing that. That's another aspect. That's an example. And then we call it as Arunagraham, right? Red planet, from the modern science also. That red planet is nothing but the characteristics of the Kuja explained as a red planet only. In the Raktavarnam, Om Bhurbhavasvaha Kujagraha Imaha Kujagrahe Agacha, Kujagraham Raktavarnam, Raktapashpam, Raktamaliyambardham, Raktagandham, Raktapatram, Rakta Chhatra, Dhwaja Pataka Shobhajam, Merum Pradakshini Kurvanam, they explains that. Like this. So same principle appears for the other grahas also. And then
For
it is basically, I can, yeah.
For direction also, you have some analogy, like, this is good. Thanks very much.
That's under progress, Purushottam garu. Definitely, I'll share the insights in.
Right. Nice of you.
Maybe for the next session, maybe I'll be getting that. Yeah.
Nice of you. Thank you so much. Look forward for it. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, sir. Any other questions?
Sir, I have a question. Can I ask?
Yes, madam. Yes,
Sir,
madam.
this is Jayanti from philosophy. Actually, I'm inspired by your lecture, but there are a couple of questions coming to my mind, because as we are living in a very busy schedule, so we are not able to take care of all these things what you are saying. So my point is that what are the basic things one must do to remove negativity from anywhere where you are living and where you are working. Sometimes the environments are so toxic and people are so much of ego and working in an environment in a friendly manner is a very difficult issue. So what one needs to do in that situation, like even if you try that to bring, and if you even if you say many times to be positive in life and to teach your students to
It's not
be,
possible.
but the environment do not provide you sufficient platform to act properly. So in that situation, what one needs to do? Like,
Yeah.
suppose
What?
I don't know
Yeah.
anything. Suppose I don't know anything about Vastu Shastra. So for me, what needs to be done to make my family healthy or free from negativity and all sort of things?
Okay, ma'am. So let me try answering your question. So actually, if you're living in not a cold country, okay, and then it's always advised to open your windows and then doors. Like not all the doors, not the main doors. You don't need to do. So wherever it is possible, right? At least your house should be exposed to fresh air, because the fresh air comes up and then carries all the emotions and the negative energies, which is exhaled through exhale only. It will coming up, and then you should throw out. And the second thing, we should avoid spending whole day in the AC rooms. That's very much. If you can check back the history also, in Rajasthan, for example, that's the hottest state, right? And if you see that ancient houses and all, if you go there, but there are houses constructed without having AC also, people could survive. Why? Because the kind of construction and the stones and the kind of those things they used. But in apartment culture and that, it is very difficult to bear that heat. That's why like we always like use that ACs and all. But thing is, even though if you use AC, but don't spend too much time there. Night time okay, but thing is daytime at least like avoid doing it. So that's another thing. So if you are working till late night in the office, that is AC. And then if you come home, definitely there is 40 degrees or 42 degrees centigrade if you are living in Hyderabad or Vizag, any other Delhi, right? And then summer, it's very difficult. So that time also AC, then we don't have that choice. The next choice will be, if you are a Jain or whatever the culture you came from, you follow the rituals which is mentioned in that culture. So in our Hinduism, right, Aman? So we always need to morning time, we have to take bath and then put a kumkum or chandan or whatever vibhuti. Compulsory, we have to wear it. It's a basic identity of Hindus. And then go directly there, light a oil diya or ghee, cow ghee or whatever, and then sit sometime, 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, you perform something. So that creates a positive energy. So if you have any mantra, you do the repetitions of 108 times. So if you are not finding time to, like ideally, if a Brahmin or if a Dvija, right, having Yajñopetam, they are supposed to sit and then do the Sandhyavandanam. If they're not able to perform, right, at least chant Shri Rama, Shri Rama, Shri Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Rama. This is a mantram. This mantram creates energy and then this mantram covers everything. Ra means like it's a Agni Shomatka Tatma. If you look at this one, every universe, I mean, all these things is based out of liquid and then fire only. These two elements only the main things, and then because of these permutations and the combinations, gases will be born, and then other it becomes like a gross element or something. But these are the main elements for living. So these elements will be in an equilibrium state. So to make that, you have to use one namam, universal namam like Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama. Otherwise, like if you have taken the Upadesam from of any specific mantra like Ganapat mantram or Bala mantra or some other mantram from a specific guru, then you do chant that. While chanting that, what happens is it automatically creates such kind of energy. It throws off all the negative energy by default. That means I'll give you a simple example. There is a full darkness in a house something. The moment you light just a matchbox, right, the darkness will be gone. So you don't need to put a separate or even too much effort to throw the negative energy. Just keep a light with you, the light which is carrying in your body, right, residing in your body, and then imagine that, and then put a light outside, and that will be enough to protect you. Hope you understand.
Yes, yes, thank you. Thank you so
I
much,
mean,
sir.
but
Actually, I used to follow because I believe on Shivji, Lord Shiva, from the birth,
okay.
childhood. I do that. I do follow positivity, always try to follow. But sometimes it's very difficult to do a kind of set of rituals in a timely manner. Like, suppose
Yes.
I have to pray God in certain time, that I'm not able to do. So, but
Yes, ma'am.
thanks a lot. I understand
And
what
then
you are saying.
there is one more point also, which is explained in the Graham also. In the Graham, the reason for keeping the puja room at the same place, the reason for that one is in meditation, Raja Yoga Marga, they'll explain that whatever the yoga practices you do, right, you do it at the same place, same time, every day, consistently to become pro. So otherwise, what happens is, because when you do it at the same place, you'll be having association with that place, and then the place is already having like accumulated some energy. That's why we have a lot of importance for the places. We call it as not a place. We call it as a kshetram, Kasi kshetram, Ayodhya kshetram. Kshetram is nothing but field. In English, right? True translation of the kshetram is nothing but field. The field will be having a core. That core is nothing but the deity which is residing at that particular place. Whether it is a Kashi Vishnu, or whether it is a Madurai Meenakshi, or whether it is a Arunachalam, everything is kshetram only for us. Tirumala. So the kshetram will be located at this specific place only. That same place you can create at your home also, right? That's what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or somebody else has done it. If you look at the history of any Siddhas, yogis, right, they always keep it at the same place. If you go to Singari Matham, the place will be the Mahaswami, like Swami is doing the japam is Anushtanam at the same place every day. Abhishekam they do at the same place every day. That's very much important actually. I think hope everyone will be make a note of it, and then that's why like we keep a pujaram will not change every time. We'll keep it as a standard only. Same thing applicable when you are performing any meditation or japam, or you choose a place where you feel comfortable, sit there and then perform whatever the japam or anushtanam there, and then you will definitely see the difference and then explain that. I mean, you can share your experience after 40 days. I can assure you, if you can do it without any interruption or something like that, with the consciousness, 40 days is enough to experience something.
Thank
you,
you
ma'am.
so much, sir. Thank you so much. So nice of you. Thank you so much.
Very
Thank you, ma'am.
nice.
It's not wrong.
Very nice,
Also,
Ramachandra.
just to add to Ramachandru's excellent explanation on especially on the questions what you and Purushottam, Dr. Jayanti and Purushottam, you people are all asked. I would say that I would add that one to his commentary, that especially the chanting of Sri Rudram will definitely remove tremendous negative energy in the home. That is the ultimate. That is the ultimate. At least one anuvaka, at least the 8th anuvaka, where it is said the Panchakshari mantra. At least that eighth anuvaka, if we chant in the home, that would totally remove the negative energy in the home.
Yes, sir, undoubtedly. Namakam
Thank you
Chamakam
so
Cheva
much,
Purusha
sir.
Suktam Chedrituhu Mahadevena Tatulyam Tanme Manashava Sankalpam. So this is what Vedam says. Yeah, Namakam Chamakam Purusha. But thing is, there is a clause here. That's the reason why I didn't mention that. Not everyone should be able to recite it properly, and then especially ladies and all these people like are not supposed to do, because the mantram associated with the swaram annotation and then this proper ucharana, any doshas will be giving the ardham will be, the meaning will be completely changed. So that's the reason why I did not talk anything about the mantra in specific to, but we can use the namam, yeah. Or Vishnu Sahasranamam is there, everyone can do that. And then if anyone knows the Rudram, and then I can't explain the words, somebody has to experience it. So yeah, I'll take one more session on the Rudram part, and then the experiences that I've got. Maybe I think I've already covered during last year in a Kshetra Sagar Madhuram that time. Yeah, in sun like we something. Yeah, that's a different topic. I'm sorry, it's getting late.
Yeah, Ramachandra, one more question. So what is a little bit more you can explain on southeast and northwest? energies. Like I missed that part.
Southeast Agnayam, that's the reason why like we always keep the Agni there, right? And then south, northwest, right? Northwest Vayvyam. Vayvyam in normal ancient this one, the bathroom usually should be there in the Vayvyam. But nowadays, like we are having either another room, child bedroom, or some other thing. Leave the apartment culture, but thing is ideally like bathrooms and then all the excretion, right? And then where we have to throw out that place, we keep it as a Vayvyam. If you go to ancient one, Agnayam always like a Agni, because Agni represents the Maheshwari in the Panchabhutas. Panchayatana, Panchabhutas, some other concept is there. There Maheshwari controls. That's a Maheshwari is nothing but the wife is the owner. The Gruhini is nothing but the Maheshwari. That's why like she controls the Agni. If the Agni is in the Agnayam, she'll be able to protect it and absorb it and then utilize it properly, so that the energy will be entered into the food. The anugraham of the Agni will be entered into the food. By consuming that food in turns, the 1/6 portion of that food will convert it into the mind. Because of that thing, you will be able to perform your dharma karyas without any distractions, deviations. That's why like
it's more, so Southeast is more like kitchen.
Southeast kitchen, yes, simple term. Southeast kitchen. So that's why like apartment culture, we cannot explain anything. But nowadays, like apartments also, they are keeping at least Southeast kitchen, Southwest master bedroom, and then puja room. They left it. Most of the places, except for a few people who really want to do something, they're keeping it on the east side or northeast. Any direction will be fine, because either north to east, that particular corner, that particular quarter, right? Everything is positive only. North is positive, northeast positive, east positive, right? That's why you can keep it anywhere. But thing is, keeping it is mandatory.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So it's a flow.
Now you got
Gurugaru mute, sir.
Sir, you are muted.
So thank you, Ramachandra Sarma ji. You have done a wonderful job, and now you have given an idea that the Gruha Pravesham ceremony is not simply to attend at lunchtime, and only the couple who are doing it in the morning, right from night and morning and all that. So people must know that what is the importance of that. If not, they are not doing it, what would happen? In fact, I have a personal experience. And my senior who just took a house in Gauribidnor, and he just joined, and that owner has given away the house for living, not doing anything to the vastu or house, has not done anything. So when I went and all that, I found, we found a lot of surprises in that house, and all books in the shelf came down on the ground, and the chair was topsy-turvy, and unnecessary fire, etc. I don't want to describe. And later on, I felt there was something. I just asked the owner of that building, asked him, "Did you do any Gruha Pravesham?" He said, "Nalla, illa sir, I got allotted, and I just started giving for rent for people, and you are the first tenant for that." Good God. So I just called the Purohit of that town and made him do it. The moment it has been done, then everything became normal and all that. So that Gruha Pravesham is the most important thing, as Ramachandra telling it, trying to drive away all the negativity, absolutely. And after that, things are all normal, and so that's one experience. Not only that, so Bhuta, Preta, Pisacha, Yaksha, Rakshasa, Gandharva, Sarpa. He was telling Ramachandra, the Sankalpam of the Gruha Pravesham itself will be the content telling us why we should do it. So Gruha Pravesham, and moreover, whatever ceremony you take up, it is Yatha Shakti, Yatha Anukulam, Yatha Desham. As Papa Igaru asked, I have left the oceans and I have traveled. No, wherever you go, we go only. Not the gods will move with us. They stay with us. They want to support us. And they do their best to support us, but only we have to support them also. So any mantra uttered is support for the person, for the God, and for the people around. So that kind of all-round benefits are there because of this Gruha Pravesham event. It's a big ceremony, and of course, Ramachandra has given briefly all that. And so you should think of pleasing all the animals or species which depended upon the building material we brought. Therefore, that's called Vastavyayacha, Vastupayacha, where Vastavya means when you build a house, Rudra stays with us, but he will only lock and go out. But Vastupa is Rudra will stay inside and he will protect your house, and the things that you have kept in your house also will be orderly and you will not be confused or afraid. So for all these purposes, Namo Vastavyayacha, Vastupayacha, and so on. And Rudraya and Namah Shivaya, Shivatarayacha. That Tara is also to be important. That's why the Gruha Pravesham is a most important one. However manner you remember that you are in a house and you have to please the house lords and devatas differently and all that. So it's a big subject, cannot be covered in short time, but thanks that Ramachandra is able to give us a comprehensive scientific outlook out of it. Some people say, oh, the Purohit came, just uttered some mantras, did some Gali Puja and all that, and went away. That is not what we should do, but we should be able to get hold of the real influence and significance and importance and continuation of that. So, for example, he said that you take Ram Nam, keep reciting. That Rama Mantra Japa itself is removal of all that. That's what Raksha Stotram. So, in the modern days, people are busy otherwise, but still they have their mind, their 24 hours time in their disposal, so they can just devote. Actually, to utter Gayatri Mantra or Rudra on the Anuvaka, as Raghava told, 1 Anuvaka per day is good. But whatever it is, but if not, you are able to utter, at least to make something heard about it when recited. So it's very important. I think we should have these ceremonies or rites that we are having under samskaras. Gruha Samskara, it is called, should be a kind of series in our Veda Kendra in future months to come. And now I asked the Buddhable Raghava and later on our Kirti Vasan, both are there. Very good religious, traditional and practitioner. So I want also them to add comments to this. Raghava Garu.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Prabhakar sir, Namaskaram. So I have no words really to tell that it was a wonderful lecture, and he tells that what is that, slides are not well prepared or something like that, but they are very good, and the slides are good, and he just spoke over the slides and with wonderful knowledge what he has in the Gruha Pravesham. And and also I like the way he answered to Dr. Purushottam, and also to Sri Papai Garu, and to Dr. Jayanti Madam. So very nicely he answered their questions. And to add to that, and if not in Andhra Pradesh, in Karnataka, definitely it has become a culture that they do, that they perform. What is that? I suddenly forgot.
Vastu Shanti before
Vastu
the
Shanti, Vastu Homa and Vastu Shanti, and also Udaka Shanti also they perform. So you said that we avahana, we will do avahana of what in the waters by telling the mantra. So that was Udaka Shanti is also very important, and that is also it was done by Bodhayana Maharshi and several other Maharshis. They joined in the Udaka Shanti preparation of this. So that was Udaka Shanti. Water is very important, and Punya Vachana you talked about, and basically as
Shanti, I can say that it's the next level of purification, sir. I mean, Punya Vachanam done. So we normally conduct like Punya Vachanam, we'll stop it because it's a small homes, and then because of, I mean, that is an expensive process also. Many people have to be involved, because at least 4 Ritviks should be there. So that will be like, if people are able to do that, And then especially when people construct a big house at the same place, I mean, it's a small place, that definitely requires a Udaka Shanti also, because there is a lot of things. But if it is an apartment, right? So, and then that's what it's all Yadha Shaktiva, Yadha Sambhavam Pratva. So if
Apartment
people are able to
culture.
afford
Yeah.
it, then definitely Udaka Shanti is the next level of purification before the homam. So because Vigneshwara Puja, it's a Kalasharadhana first level, and then next Punyahavachanam, that's a purification, and the next level is Udaka Shanti, and the next level is homam. With the homam, everything will be burnt off. That's it.
Yeah, you talked about magnetic field of the east and the west, and these kind of things, and these are absolutely perfect on the physics and other scientific things that you brought out, and also answer to Sri Papaya Garu question, and it is basically the trust. You have to have the trust on the mantra when you are either chanting or listening, or when you performing the puja of learning the mantra. So that is absolutely very important to conduct the homa and other things, and also to do the Gruha Pravesham completely. And also I was under the impression that you would tell about the major important things that we do in the you said about with respect to Vedic culture, in the Gruha Pravesha is that Paal Ponginsatam. So that is another important thing that which the women will do in the home. So that is also a very important thing. So, but it is difficult to cover almost all these things in 1 hour. But you did an excellent job, Ramachandra Sharma. So I really thank you so much for enlightening us with a lot of this positive force that has got the Gruha Pravesham, and we should do once in a while this Vastu Homam and Vastu Shanti in the home. Though you performed it at the initial level of Gruha Pravesham, but once in a while when we do this Vastu Homam, that is also excellent to take out the all negative energy. Thank you so much,
Sure.
Ramachandra.
Thank you very much for your valuable feedback, sir. Sarvam Sri Guru Charanarvindarpanamastu.
Thank you.
Now Kritivasan will be telling us something. He lives in Atlanta, USA for the past several years, a diligent student learning so many things. Welcome, sir.
Namaste Sarvebhyah. Namaste Guru Garu. Namaste Sarvebhyah. Mahaganapate Namaha. Saraswati Devye Namaha. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. I mean, what to say? I mean, like, this was a wonderful session. Excellent session. Lot of insights. Lot of information. And thank you, Sri Ramachandra Sharma Garu. And then it was a good start with the Sankita Anjali and nice rendition and nice song. Yeah, we heard, and followed by Guru Garu's brief introduction on today's topic, which is the Gruha Pravesham, why we do, the significance and the purpose of why we do the Gruha Pravesham, and then followed by Sri Ramachandra Sharma Garu. He started very nicely. I mean, the way he glided through the significance of Gruha Pravesham was very nice. I mean, the way, I made some notes also, and it was very informative. He started with how we do. I mean, like how the human beings are being different from the different creatures and species, and then why human beings perform this, right? To basically to do the grihastha dharma, the dharma, the kama, moksha, siddhartham, right? So to get all the to perform all the grihastha duties, and then attain moksha, like and then he also associated with karma, bhakti, jnana. Like you do the karma bhakti to attain the jnana yoga, which is the varnashrama, the vanaprastha dharma, that thing, right? So that was very that was very nice, the way he glided through. And also, I mean, they, like they say, right? Why we do Gruha Pravesham? Like the Swarna Vruddhim Kurume Gruhe Shrihi, Sudhanya Vruddhim Kurume Gruhe Shrihi, Kalyana Vruddhim Kurume Gruhe Shrihi, Vibhuti Vruddhim Kurume Gruhe Shrihi. Right? I mean, like, all this, like the Swarna, wealth, health is wealth, right? And then the Sudhanyam, Dhanadhanyam, Sampat, right? And then, you know, Vibhuti, all the glory, and Kalyana, all Mangalam, auspicious things, you know. So that's why, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we all need to do a peaceful life, and you know, and you know, go to the Vanaprastha stage and attain mukti, you know, God willing, right? So it was very nice from the way you related all this, how we attained this. And then also the another thing is the Pancha Yajna, how you know, the Brahma Yajnam, Deva Yajnam, Pitru Yajnam, all those stuff, you know, how, and so on, right? And to get rid of all the negative effects. And the way you explained the agraharas are set up in the initial days, where, you know, the positive energy comes from the east and the negative energy goes from the west. They have, you know, the straight, you know, the thing. That was very nice. And how we perform this Gruha Pravesham, the Sampradaya, you know, followed by different states, like, for example, in Andhra, in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu. I mean, I've seen in Tamil Nadu also, like, you know, like Sri Raghava added the Karnataka, Raghava Mahodaya added the Karnataka side, and then you added the Andhra Pradesh side. And I've seen from Tamil Nadu side also, right? They do the Dwara Puja and then Go Puja. Especially, you know, they have the cow enter the house, the dhuli, the go dhuli, you know, that purifies the entire, you know, the entire atmosphere and the entire griham. And obviously you want, you know, the house purified from all the negative, you know, effects that has been there, right? So all those stuff, right? And the way, you know, we relate all your, you know, the logical thinking and your research. I mean, it clearly tells the effort behind the scene that you put in, you know, to come to this, you know, type thing. I mean, definitely very informative, and you know, there is no words to thank you, Ramachandra Sarma, you know, for all
Thank you so much, sir.
the efforts put in.
Guru Gari Bhiksha.
Yeah, I mean, it is all, you know, Guru's, you know, Guru Garu's blessing, and the way, and I'm very, very, very happy to be part of this satsang, and thank you, Guru Garu. Any concluding notes, please carry on.
So Ramachandra, you can
Thank you so much, sir.
In Prasad, you want to add anything now? And then he will say the first Suktam and Shanti Mantram. With that, we'll conclude. But anyway, this Gruha Pravesham is a most important right to any and everybody who wants to live in the house. And in fact, in Agrikaryam, they say, Sugruhapatina Puyasam, Sugruho Gruhaihi. So, Sugruho Gruhaihi, Sugruhapatina Bhuyasam. That is, Sugruhapati is Agni. So, we have to be always having that Agni energy in us, 98.4 degrees temperature. If it is more problem, it is less problem. Our temperature in the body, the heat in the body, Shukram te, Anyat, Jajatam te. So that Shukra, that Shuk is heat. That heat has to be maintained inside. And that's exactly could be done only through the grace of the house. Not only the house, the inmates of the house, and those who go from the house, those who visit the house, both must be happier. And when that happens, it is not because of only you or puja, it is all the Vastu Purusha Anugraha. That's exactly what you find in the Vastu Suktam, containing 4 to 6 mantras in Rigveda. Vastoshpate Pratijanihi, that word Pratijanihi is wonderful. And Anamiva, of course, Ramachandra explained as something, but Amiva, Anamiva. Anamiva means affection. Amiva means infection. So, whatever you are doing, it is not agreeable, it becomes infected. It is agreeable, it is affected. So we are to have always affection and promotion and prosperity. So that's exactly what we can say. Anamiva bhavanaha. And moreover, you declare that Swaveshaha, this particular house which I am living does not belong to me at all. I am only a tenant. You are the Ishvara and it is your house. Sometime back, Swami Sai Baba also came in my dream, told me, Prabhakar, why you are thinking of putting name to the house and all that, but basically it is Ishwaruni Illu. And you put your name, whatever you like, it's only physical. But basically, foundationally, Illu Ishwarunidi. And Swami Japinod Kallo Vachi, it is what, that's what Vastu Suktam explains. And Anamiva Bhavan. Moreover, if you build a house, it should be good for you, inmates, and those who go away. Also the animals and plants and herbs and all that, around, beyond the house. Therefore, house speaks the person, and house breathes along with us. That's why in Yajurveda, good culture is there. When you are going out from your house, after locking, you make a prayer for the house. Gruha ma bibhita, our beautiful Raghavan knows. Gruha ma bibhita. Oh, my dear, the house is a child. Please don't get scared. Next day, baby will cry. And I'll return soon, finishing my work. Gramantaram I go, I finish and come back. That kind of assurity should be given to the house. Then house will be happy and comfortable. When you come back from your outstation, it will be happy. So now I think it's high time. I will ask our Raghava, or no, Ramachandra, please recite the Vastu Suktam and
నమస్కారం గురు. ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. హరి ఓం. వాస్తోష్పదే ప్రతిజానేహి యస్మాన్ స్వావేశో అనమీవో భవానః యత్వేమహే ప్రతితన్నో జుషస్పశన్న ఏధిద్విపదేశం చతుష్పదే వాస్తోష్పదే షగ్మయా సగం సదా తే సక్షీమహిరణ్మయా గాతమత్యా ఆవహ క్షీమపతయో గేవర్ణో యూయం పాద స్వస్తిభిः సదా నః అమీవః వాస్తోష్పదే విశ్వారూపాణ్యా విశంసకాశేవేధినః शुभगं शुभं स्वस्त्येनन्तार्क्षमरिष्णैर्महद्भूतं वायुं देवतानाम् असुरघ्नमिन्द्रसखं समत्सु बृहद्यसोनां वरिहम हं होम च वाङ्गिरसङ्गं च स्वस्यात्रयं रसादाक्ष्यं प्रयतमानिश्चरणं प्रब्ध्ये स्वस्तिशं बाधेष्वभयन्नोऽस्तु शुभगं शुभम् ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्पर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि अर्थं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ओम श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु तत्सत् परब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु सर्वं श्री गुरुचरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु।